Hi everyone, hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's had a really good week. Really pleased to say that we've managed to grab Stephen Brown today, industry expert, coach, mentor, trainer. Welcome, Stephen. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me on. Thank you for that nice little intro. Didn't realize I did that much.
You do a lot. And the other thing we need to do is to congratulate you, because obviously it's 10 years I saw on your social platforms. How quick has that gone?
Oh, it's flown by. It's been a real roller coaster. So really challenging to start off with, trying to go out there and find clients. And I think when I first started, it was mainly because I worked for Green & Co for 20 years, and they were very innovative estate agents. So a lot of people wanted to get a few ideas from there.
Yeah.
And then I know we're going to talk about the power of social media, but actually I think it was about, you've been amazing and really been helpful how it's built up. But I think it was about 7 years ago that somebody said you need to be on Facebook, and then there was some fella called Alan Batt. I don't know if you've heard of him. He started saying he said you need to start facilitating some mastermind groups. And then all of a sudden, actually, it took off because of Facebook. And then people start talking. And especially where we are now with, what's going on, you want people to be talking about you, recommending you, and going from there. So Facebook has made a massive difference to my business, and most probably actually transformed it, because it's word of mouth. And, I love all these Facebook groups where people start talking about you. You go on a training course, or actually, I think the best one I've seen was, I'm looking for an estate agent in a particular area, and you get 65 people that say the same estate agent. Well, that is massive social proof, massive social proof. So I know that's most probably a later question, but I thought I'd answer it earlier because it's been a massive help in my 10 years of business. So thank you for that.
No problem. So what I've done is I've put together a number of questions, because I think over those 10 years you've probably seen, learnt, and experienced a lot of things with agents. So I've got a number of questions that I think will help a lot of agents who are watching, and hopefully we can tap into some of those things and give a bit of value. So what's been the most common mistake you've seen agents make when you're speaking to agents or looking at their business? And when you start working with agents, what's the most common mistake that you see being made?
So I like doing a property review or property MOT. So you start talking about people's numbers, and you want to know, where you are and where you need to go to, and, are you moving forward? And some of the agents I've worked with, they look at you as if like you're an alien from outer space. What do you mean by numbers? So for me, one of the most important things is actually really know your numbers. With what's going on at the moment, I think we all agree there's going to be fewer transactions. So one of the key things now I'm working with people and most popular training courses is how to get a higher fee at the moment. So, again, would you rather be selling 100 properties at 1% or 50 properties at 2%? So for me, the focus is at the moment is what can we do to add value? You talked about add value there, get a higher fee. But for me, I think agency, I've got to see the good, the bad, and the incredibly ugly over 10 years. And some of the things are very scary. I would say the best agents are the ones that take action and implement stuff. Sometimes it doesn't go right, but at least they've tried it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's agency is very simple. So it's mastering 4 disciplines. So that's some people call it prospecting. I've actually come away from the word prospecting because I think people don't like to prospect. I've come to that conclusion. People don't like picking up the phone, which for me is absolutely crazy, because you need to make the phone your best friend in this market. So I call it building relationships now. So, and you'll see people's reaction. They don't mind getting on the phone knowing that they're building relationships and creating opportunities rather than mentioning prospecting. And so one of the things I think is really important is language that you speak to yourself, to your colleagues, to your customers. But so the first thing is master building relationships. Then that's going to give you market appraisals, listings. So you've got a master going on listings, asking for a business. A lot of agents don't ask for a business, so that's another big thing. So they go along, they do a really good pitch, whatever, consultation, whatever you want to call it. They come back and then they get their piece of paper and they just throw it away and, you know, oh, they call us, and you can't do that.
Yeah.
So you need to master listing. You need to master selling, because if you can't sell, God help us all, we need to go home and shut up shop. And fourthly, as a seller, I want a skilled negotiator. So I want somebody that's going to negotiate the best outcome for me with my buyer. And I see far too many agents just accept the first offer that comes in. You know, they get the asking price and go, yeah, that's fantastic. We've got the asking price. That's great. We've done the deal. But for me is, can you get every last single penny? You know, most importantly for that seller, because that can make a difference. But actually, if you then look at your stats, and if you're at 105% of the asking price and your main competitor's at 100, and you can say, look, we actually put £10,000 more in your pocket than our competitors. So this is a reason why the investment in our services is 2%. But you need to demonstrate that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think if you can master those 4 disciplines, that makes a difference. And I think the final thing I would add is rather than see, I think too many agents see it as a one-off transaction.
Yeah.
And for me, it's right. How can you become that client for life? So, you know, rather, I think the average UK fee is about £3,000. So if I said to you, Paul, right, you're going on a consultation, appraisal, valuation, whatever you call it today. And instead of you thinking that you're going to get it on and it's going to be a £3,000 fee, I want you to think that your client for life will make it 30, 40, 50,000 pounds, because if you give an exceptional customer experience, they're going to recommend you to friends, for family, colleagues and neighbours. So would you go in and would you look at that market appraisal in a very different way, thinking actually it could be 30, 40, 50,000, 60,000 pounds? I think if you're honest with yourself, most people, you would say, yes, we deal with it we would deal with it in a different way. So I think that's where people have to start thinking, come off for one transaction and think, right, I'm going to give the most exceptional experience from start to finish, so that when they come back to me, you know, they're going to recommend me to everything. And the final thing that I've learned is that estate agents leave many of their previous buyers in witness protection. They never ever call them back after they've bought. So there's no annual health check. There's no checking in after 3 months, 30 days, 3 days, 30 days, 3 months, and offering that annual health check. Because I'm sure every estate agent that's watching this wants a higher fee. They want more revenue and they want customer loyalty. In order to do that, you need to have a proper stay in touch policy. And whether it's for sales or lettings, and I would say 95% do not have any stay in touch policy whatsoever, which scares the living daylight out of me.
Yeah, why do you think that is? Because obviously our industry is awful with the stay in touch approach, but other countries are a lot better. Why do you think that is?
With you, not just countries, but look at industries. Okay, what happens with your car every year? What happens with your teeth every year? What happens with your eyes every year? You know, they're very good at staying in contact with us. So we need to do the same thing, because everybody thinks everybody's chasing that new property, that new property, that new property, and you've got it there now. So why not? Why not speak to them? You know, what's been really interesting, I've done a little exercise with a lot of agents, and I said to you, right, who's bought properties during lockdown? So, and I've been surprised at this, you know, so quite a few people have bought it, but then I've asked them a really simple question: how's your living space? And the answer has come back: too small, too big, need a bigger garden, I hate my partner, I want to move. So it's crazy. So, you know, simple questions open doors. So the other thing I would say to people is be disruptive, ask disruptive questions. You know, are you in your dream house? You know, you took the property off the market. If somebody came along with a crazy offer, would you consider moving? Because I know there are fewer buyers out there, but there are still people that would actually pay a premium for a particular circumstance. So I had a case in the last couple of years where property came on, the neighbour paid, or the neighbour's brother paid £60,000 more than everybody else was prepared to pay.
Yeah.
Why? Because he knew he was going blind in 3 years and he needed to be near to his brother. So it's just finding that particular person. And there are people out there. People need to move. You know, whatever the market is, people still need to move. There's 11 reasons why. So I'm very happy, Paul, if anybody gets in contact with me, to give them the 11 reasons why.
Excellent. No, that's great. Excellent. Another question that I've got here, which you did cover a little bit, but I think would be great to cover, is what advice would you give agents who are great with people, great at sales, but not good at organising themselves? Because obviously we are an industry that's getting busier and busier all the time of things we need to do. Any advice there at all?
Well, it comes down, is it time management or is it choice management? Okay, so we've all got the same seconds, minutes, hours in a day. It's what we choose to do with them. So for me, the most important thing, non-negotiable, has to be creating business relationships. Because if you don't create those, you're not going to have anything to list. Yeah. So that has to get scheduled in your diary. So a wise man said, what gets scheduled gets done. So you have to put it in your diary. You have to schedule it. You know, I'm a firm believer of Peter Rawlings and what he's done at Foxtons, for John McGrath's, the AM and the PMs. Yeah. So really the AM is all about setting up your PM. So on the AM, you should be building these relationships. You should be going back to the people that saw properties yesterday. The afternoon, you should be out doing the viewings, getting offers and going from there. So it's all about organising yourself, organising your structure. And the best agents are the ones that are the most organised. Yeah. The best agents are the ones that are proactive. So, you know, the way the market is at the moment, yes, there are fewer agents, but I can guarantee you agents have on their customer base 10, 15, 20, 25 people that need to move for whatever reason. Find them, go out, source stuff for them. Okay. Be that matchmaker, that deal maker. That's what you need to be when the market's changed. So there are opportunities out there, and it's having that mindset, but you really need to organize yourself. Get your diary. So we scheduled this in our diary. We're doing it live. It's there. It's scheduled. You know, I've got 10 o'clock. I've got 11:30. They're all scheduled in my diary. I am going to turn up, and I am going to turn up on time. Why? Because they're scheduled in my diary. So schedule it in your diary and make it happen. And no excuses. Yeah. As Nike says, just effing do it.
And would you say there's anything which agents do which they shouldn't be doing? You know, is there stuff that they're spending too much time on that you see a lot of agents doing?
Yeah, distractions. You know, there's so many distractions in our life. You know, it could be pinging now. Oh, there's a message. Oh, I don't really want to give Phil any focus. I'm going to look at my message. You know, so you've got constant distraction. So maybe switch off your WhatsApp, maybe switch off your Facebook during the day, and just focus on what you need to do. And do it like in, you know, I think a couple of things that have helped me. I listened to a guy called BJ Fogg. And I think he had Tiny Habits, Remarkable Changes, or you've got James Clear, Atomic Habits, which are both fantastic books on time management or choice management. And again, you know, what BJ Fogg helped me with is do things in 15 minutes. Okay, segments, get them done, and you feel that you've achieved something. And do the most important thing you need to do at the start of a day and get it done. Because I know that, you know, yeah, we get on the phones at 4 to 5 o'clock and you go, yeah, of course you will. Loads of other stuff happen and then you miss it. Oh, we do it tomorrow, and the same thing happens. So, you know, if you're going on a listing, if you're going on an appointment, scheduled in the diary, you're going to turn up. Every single person's disciplined. Even I know you're disciplined, Paul, because you've turned up on this dressed. Okay, so you've disciplined yourself to come on StreamYard dressed. Thankfully for everybody watching this. Okay, so we're all disciplined. It's about creating those habits and making sure we do them every day. And some days you won't have results. This industry is a real high and low. We have good days and we have really not so good days. So it's understanding that and accepting it. But I suppose the answer is control what you can control. Okay, so you can control picking up the phone. You can control making those calls. You can control doing those weekly Facebook videos on what's going on in your local market. You can control all your social media posts, to get out there. So, some people will say to me, Stephen, I can't do Facebook. I can't do video. And then you ask the question, would you prefer to email 10 people in an hour, or do you prefer to reach 10,000 people in an hour? And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, 10,000 people. Okay, so what do you need to do? Schedule it in your diary and just get it done and do it. And understand that you have to get, or all the best people have got uncomfortable getting, have got comfortable getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do. Yeah. You have to get comfortable getting uncomfortable, and agents are being left behind because they're not doing it. I'm sure you can share loads of stories where you see the difference, where there may have been some established agents that have been going for 20, 30, 40, 50, 150 years, and they just don't embrace it. And they're being left behind by the new kids on the block that are really, really happy to go out there. And I don't even think you're making fools of yourself, because I think people scroll through really, really quickly anyway. And if you look at the best people and you look at the start of what they were like at the start and where they are now, oh my word, it's totally, totally different. Totally different.
I totally agree with everything you're saying. And the other thing I hope you agree that now the journey is starting so much earlier for sellers and buyers, obviously with the internet and everything else involved. They can't ignore it anymore. It's something which people have to adapt to, adapt to the systems that allow you to get in front of those people earlier.
100%. And they need an expert like you to help them. Go to Paul. Paul's amazing what he does. There definitely aren't many Pauls out there, so make the most of it.
One other question I jotted down for you, which I think would be a great one for agents, is what's the most valuable thing an agent can have? Is it a team member, a specific strategy, time management? What's the one thing that is non-negotiable and fundamental to success? What would you say is the number one thing that they must have?
Every person you speak to is an opportunity. Okay, because without listings, really, we don't have anything. You can have the best systems, you can have the best processes, you can have the best choice management, but if you're not creating opportunities on a daily basis, if you're not being disruptive, asking disruptive questions, then you're not going to have anything, very simply. So you need to create opportunities every day. So I had a training session at the start of a month. I think I had about 60 agents there. I turned up with a market appraisal for one of the agents in that area from a taxi driver. I'm doing another training day tomorrow. I did a 3-day training event last week on the sales induction course. The trainer said, or the guy who was helping me, who organised it, he said, do you know what? We've had an agent through 2 weeks ago and I haven't heard from them. And I said, where's your property? And he told me. So I said, I'm working with those agents actually tomorrow. So I said, can I get one of them to call you? So tomorrow I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, right, I've got a market appraisal. Who wants it? And they're going to look at me as if I'm mad. But the point is, every single person you get in contact with is an opportunity. Okay, they may not know that they're selling, and you look. So again, you talk about social media, and we've had a case where the hashtags on Instagram, somebody just followed Victorian property. Okay, they weren't even in the market to move, and this Victorian property came up. They went to see it and they bought it.
Excellent.
And it's like, so there's loads of passive buyers out there. Our job as agents is to find those passive buyers, is to get that premium price for that seller. And we need to use all of the tools out there to do that. But you can't do any of it unless you're on the phone and you're having conversations, or if you're out and having conversations. So I do a little exercise with people and I say to them, right, I want you to write down who are the most influential people in your area. So they come up with a list. It may be 10, 15 people. So maybe like hairdressers, jewelers, funeral directors, mortgage brokers, solicitors, etc., etc. And then you go, yeah, you're spot on. But actually, it's every single person you come in contact with is an opportunity. So I think I did a training session with Daniel Spencer from Australia, and he said every single property is on the market. The most motivated ones have a sale board outside.
That's a good point. Very good point.
And it's really understanding that that's the case, you know. So go out there, ask disruptive questions. But for me, a non-negotiable, it has to be, you have to find the properties, and then you go and use John Paul and he'd sort out all your systems and processes. And then you use Jerry Lyons and he'd sort out all your content, or Chris Watkin, to be fair, or whoever it is. So, there's some great people out there that will help you.
That's excellent. Obviously, December is a great time for agents to start looking at their businesses. What's the where would you say is the best place for them to start looking at to improving their business over this? I won't say quiet period, because some people don't like that, but a period where they have a bit of time to step back and have a look at their business. Okay,
so definitely reflection. I'll be looking at goals and objectives for 2023. I'll be looking at what our accomplishments have been for 2022. I'll also be looking at our disappointments for 2022, what we can learn. I'd also ask what our learning goals for 2023, because I think that's very important to keep on learning, keep on self-developing. I would start to do a vision board. So I had, we used to do vision boards years ago at Green & Co. And there's two exceptional businesses, Location, and C Residential. And, there's no coincidence. They win loads. They've got great cultures, but they've got vision boards that are there. The other thing now is a great opportunity to actually going through and letting everybody know what's happening in your local area. Let people know what's happened over the year. Give them a call. The other thing is try and get your Google reviews up.
Yeah.
Okay. Speak to people. Now's a great chance to get your Google reviews. Have that time where it is a bit quieter. I think there are opportunities out there. So you make your own market. So I used to love December and I used to love August because people switch off.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a holiday season. And you know what? Agents have worked really, really hard. And I know, through my mastermind groups of speaking to people, there's a lot of tired people out there. So also spend time in yourself. Okay. Refresh, recharge, refocus. Look after yourself as well, because you're very, very important. But remember, what you do in the next 30 days is also going to impact what happens in the next 90 days. So if you switch off now, you're going to be very, very quiet in March.
Yeah, it's a great time to, as you said, just to pick up the phone and reconnect with, past buyers, sellers, landlords, and just, wish them that Merry Christmas that's up and coming, and then just have a chat about their plans.
Definitely.
Excellent. So moving on to social media, obviously something that I'm passionate about.
You had to get that one in today, didn't you?
We got to get a couple in for social media. But how important is an agent's social media presence nowadays? So of course we've got brands and the agencies themselves, but what about agents on social media? What do you think about that?
For me, it's a non-brainer. It needs to be done, and I think you need to be on every platform out there. So Instagram, I call it TokTik, but I think we use it today, call it TikTok. Wherever it is, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, you need to be on all the platforms. You know, I'm no expert on it. I will come to you and ask you any questions, you know, what you need to do. But without a shadow of a doubt, you need to be putting really useful content out there. It's a great way of lead capturing as well. So I think one of the things, just coming back to one of your questions, that I think agents can do better is, you know, there's loads of great content that gets put out there, but at the end of videos, I don't see a call to action.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, really important for agents to have a call to action. And, you know, whether you've got Vival, Power Home Searches, Spectre, Spriff, Dataloft,
yeah,
there needs to be a call to action to say, look, if you want a complimentary marketing report, click on the link, and then you're capturing their data. And then you can put them on your journey, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, however long it takes. But I think that is a trick that I think the majority of agents miss out on. And I really think, again, that's a pretty easy win to do that. And the other thing is give stuff of value, you know, so, you know, whether it's landlords you want to get, you know, offer them a property MOT on compliance, so they can get something useful. You know, all the guides out there, you know, there's loads of really useful guides. Offer them, you know, add that value, be educating people. And for me, I think where it comes to education at the moment is doing market reviews on your area. Because I think if we look nationwide and we pick up a paper, there's loads of doom and gloom. Prices are going to drop by 25-30%. Interest rates are going to go up to 7-8%. You know, the world's going to end. Okay, that may be so, but it's not happening potentially in your area. You know, prices may have, I suppose, stabilized. You know, they're not going up at the levels that they were. You know, they may well be coming down. They may be readjusting, you know, 5-10%. We may be, or we are, you know, coming back to a normal market rather than a totally unprecedented market we were in, unreal market, inflated market for 2 years. So again, make the most of it. Educate, just for the whole time. You know, give, and then you'll be surprised what you get.
Yeah,
you know,
I think.
I'm sure you've seen it. Chris Watkins seen it. Jerry's seen it. You know, I've definitely seen it. I've given, and then unexpectedly, somebody said, "Oh, you do training? Can I do training with you?" And okay, but that's because you've given loads of stuff, and that's what you need to do. You need to educate. And again, now with Facebook, there's loads of local businesses that are struggling. You know, help those local businesses in your area. You know, do spotlights on local businesses. You know, and I know there's going to be loads of agents now that are doing that have teamed up with their local businesses to help them and put on Facebook competition. You know, 15 days, 24 days of Christmas. You know, we've teamed up with this local business for a giveaway. Help those local businesses because they are in desperate need of help. You know, everybody's going to be suffering from the cost of living. Help them. Be different. Give really useful information on all the different local Facebook groups. You know, so Michelle, great idea. Dog walking in Lancaster. Okay, local restaurants, dog friendly, vets, stuff like that. That's great because that's going to get engagement. And how many people have dogs? How many people bought dogs in lockdown?
Yeah, exactly. Good. That's a good point. And the other thing with the local businesses is such a good point is that they've got their fan base, you know, they've got their community, they've got their, you know, the people that love that business. And as soon as you start helping that business, you're spotlighting yourself, it comes back to you. So powerful to work with local businesses.
100%. It's the law of reciprocity. You know, you give something, you know, eventually, you know, if the people are nice, they give it back, you'll get it back. And that's what's really important.
Yeah, definitely. So last question then to finish you off. What do you think agents have to keep in mind in the current circumstances of the industry going forward? And, you know, what will keep them successful, help them become successful next year? So one tip that we can all take away, which you think we should look at for 2023.
Okay, so control what you can control. Okay, so we can't control what's going on with interest rates. We can't control what's happening with Ukraine. but you can control being a deal maker and matchmaker. So get to know who your hot buyers are, find your motivated sellers, and really focus on them. And that's what I will be doing every day. Right, who do we register yesterday? Who needs to buy? Who needs to move in the next 3-4 months? What are we doing to go out and find them? Okay, are we using all these different tools out there that can get us in front of sellers? The Spectres, Spriffs, all of those, home searches, data lofts, all the different reports that are out there. We can be sending them. We can be proactive. We can make things happen. Make your phone your best friend. So start calling people. Communication is going to be really, really important. Remember your existing customers, your existing vendors. Call them, update them, even if there's no news, because actually you may not have had a physical viewing, but I guarantee you've had loads of virtual viewings. So, whether it's your first viewing is going to be on your website, on your Facebook, on your portals, make sure that you're giving the seller all those stats. Okay. Call them, communicate with them. The other thing I would do is go back through any of the old offers that you had and see whether there's an opportunity there to maybe do a deal that you think that you couldn't do. So that's more than one.
There's loads of gold nuggets there, so I really appreciate those. So last of all, Stephen, obviously, you're doing some great work for charity. I know that you've been doing the Computer for School fundraising. Just let us know how that's going, because I want to make sure everyone's aware of what you do there, and if there's anything more that people can do to help.
Thank you. Okay, so far just under £123,500 raised. Wow. So thank you to absolutely everybody that continuously contributes. It's amazing. 1,212 laptops and tablets have gone to schools nationwide throughout the UK so far. I've got agents. I've got about a dozen or so agents that donate £10 per sale every month. So again, anybody watching this, if you want to get involved, you're very welcome to. So if somebody has 6 sales, they send me 60 quid. That goes into the fund. I then send them a tablet back. They then decide which school they want to send it to, school of their choice. They may have a Facebook competition, tag a school in, and so again, it helps with engagement on that. If they have 20 completions, £200, they send over £200. Again, I then send them a laptop to give to a school of their choice. As a result of that, I got introduced to an inspirational 17-year-old called Dan Lloyd, who started off a campaign called Markers for Mindfulness. So sadly, his best friend died by suicide 3 years ago, and he wanted to leave a legacy for his friend. And because there were no wellbeing provisions in his school, so he's been going around to local businesses, anybody actually in the area who's got any unwanted, unused stationery. He then collects it all and he takes it to schools in his area. The money that the schools save on their budget, then they were then able to put into wellbeing. So that's making a difference. So I got put in touch with him from Yvonne at Agents Giving. And as a result of that, I've got involved in London. So I've been working with Barnet, Walking Football Team, Barnet FC. We've collected loads of stationery. I'd like to say a massive thank you, actually, because I had a nice grant from Agents Giving. I had £500 from Peter Ambrose at the Property Partnership. I've had loads of, you talk about the power of Facebook. I put it in local Facebook groups. I've had people saying, yeah, we've got stationery. What do I need to do to get it to you? I've been into 25 schools in the last month delivering this stationery. I've interviewed loads of head teachers. It is scary out there. Papers being rationed. Kids are coming into school without being fed because their parents can't afford it. Teachers are having to spend money out of their own pocket in order to provide. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting football clubs. In fact, I'm getting estate agents to be drop-off points for their community. So again, if anybody gets in contact, Paul, I can send you a poster. You can put it on there. If you can be a drop-off point, collection point in your area, and then once you get some stuff, again, speak to your local schools and say, look, we've got some stationery, we like to bring it in on behalf of Markers for Mindfulness. It costs you absolutely nothing, but I promise you, you're making such a massive difference to schools, an incredible difference, and that will really, really help. So anybody who wants to get involved, please get in contact. I'm trying to get football clubs involved. So I've had a meeting with QPR. They look like we're going to have a day in March where at their game, they're going to have a fan zone where people can come and donate. And I'm trying to go to all the Football League clubs. So if anybody's got any contacts at any clubs, it can be non-league, anywhere, it could be kids clubs, that's something that's really, really important. And one thing I would say, just finishing this with Facebook, and to help your local community, and more importantly, schools in your area, go and speak to your local schools. Say to them, look, if any of your parents, any of the teachers are looking to sell a property and they refer them to us, we will then donate 10% back to the school that you can then use for whether it's computers, whether it's for sports equipment, whether it's for books, whatever it is, we will give you that money back. And there are some schools, I promise you, that will bite your hand off because they are desperate for money. And again, what I do with you is maybe share something that you can share with people. I've done a couple of videos, and you can, they're quite hard hitting about what's really going on in schools, and we don't get to hear that. So if anybody wants to get involved in either campaign, please, it'd be amazing. The aim is to get up to £200,000. Obviously my wife passed away last year. This gives me a purpose, this gives me a focus, and I just really want to help people. And I know there's a lot of amazing causes out there, and people are doing some amazing, extraordinary charity work. But I think, the estate agency industry, the suppliers have just been absolutely incredible. So massive thank you to every single person that's donated. It's absolutely incredible. And you are making an incredible, massive difference to these children. Incredible. And the teachers. So thank you, everybody.
I think there's probably a lot of agents out there, Stephen, who'd like to do something, probably don't know what to do. And I think over the next 12 months, it's going to, be more important that perhaps agents do get involved in helping the community. So if anyone is looking to do anything, get in touch with Stephen, message him. He'll give you some ideas. He'll tell you what he can perhaps suggest as well. And hopefully we can all help a bit more. So, Stephen, I'm just going to say thank you very much. Thanks for everything you're doing, both for the industry and charity. And I really appreciate you taking time out of your day.
You're very welcome. Thanks for watching. And if anybody wants those 11 reasons why people sell, please get in contact. And more importantly, on the charity stuff, I'll happily have a conversation, point you in the right direction. Agents giving is exceptional. If you're doing an event, they will give you a grant to help you. So remember agents giving as well.
That's brilliant. Excellent. Thanks, everyone. We'll speak to you very soon. Thanks for watching.